we go to hundreds of thousands of people, but these are actually recreations of actual marketing. In many cases, these are billboards of what agents did to stand out amongst the competition. Here she is, Carol Cornell, the ghost realtor, one of my favorite ever. My homes are 100% ghost and demon free. Well, hallelujah. Okay. I love this guy. This is an actual billboard. I took this picture myself. We changed his image and his name. Agent Repairman. He's like dressed like James Bond with a caulking gun. Because I'm going to caulk your floor for you. Because that's what makes me unique. That's why I'm worth you paying me all this money to market and promote your home. Because I have a caulking gun. But then my favorites, you know, I'm very fond of the Australians. My grandfather's brother moved to Australia. Australia was a prison colony for Irish. All the English didn't know what to do with us. They sent us down to Tasmania. So I have a soft spot for the Australians. This is an Australian real estate company that in order to promote themselves did this. This is a billboard. They're like, we know how to stand out amongst the competition. Let's get butt naked and stand behind our signs. You guys ready to list? I don't know about you. I've seen more real estate agents than any man in the history of real estate training. And my goal is not to see them all naked. Would you guys agree with that? So what do we do at Buffini Company? We have a better way to do it. A better way. And we've been doing this and teaching this for 30 years. Our average client comes right in around 10 times the national average. Okay? You tell me, this isn't rocket science. Which one would you rather have? Would you rather make 350 or 41? What do you guys think? See, 350, that person is living a quality life and having a quality business. That person goes on an appointment and the client or the prospect is not a nice person, is disrespectful, treats them harshly. That person's able to look him in the eye and say, I don't think we're a good fit for one another. The person who's making 41 grand, they have to work with them. Because they no choice. Something's better than nothing. We have a French term for those type of clients. We call them a jackass. And we don't like working with jackasses. There's a better way to do it. So we want to stand out amongst the competition because of how we serve and how we sell. So what's our specialty at Buffini Company? What was my specialty that changed my family's fortune? As I'm a practitioner in real estate, most of the trainers in real estate today never sold a home in their life. Never sat at the kitchen table to make a sale. Never had to go home and go, honey, we had a deal fall out of escrow. But we still got to make the mortgage payment. It changes things. Would you guys agree? So this is experientially, this was built. And then it was trained and taught to people who did more with it than I ever did in my life. As our clients have taken this on and become the most successful agents, the home of the top producers, without category, without question, for 30 years has been the members of Buffini Company. Because we have a system for generating leads, an actual system. A process that goes, it's Monday morning, it's 9 o'clock, I know what to do. And what do most agents do? Well, here's the data. This is the largest survey ever done of practicing real estate agents. What they're practicing, I'm not sure. What do agents do with their day? Number one, 37%, they do errands. Next, admin work. Next, email, which I don't know, email and admin, is that different? Surfing the web, there we go, that helps. Social media, unless you're an influencer and getting paid for clicks. Okay, it's okay to do all of these things. It's okay to do some errands. It's okay to do some admin. It's okay for email. It's okay to surf the web. It's okay to do social media. We certainly teach on it. But what's not okay is 3% of my day is spent talking to clients. There's a better way to go. So here's what we do. Here's why we're the home of the top agents. First, our clients, they have a system for generating leads. Just like I did, just like many of you in here are using this system. They have a system for generating leads. They provide value and build relationships, and they sell and they serve skillfully. That's it. Sell and serve skillfully. So you have a system, provide value, sell, and serve. That's the deal. So let me walk you through it. The system for generating leads. This right here is the gold standard for lead generation for the past 30 years in real estate. And it's about sorting and qualifying your database into A's, pluses, your very best clients, the people most likely to refer you, who refer you a lot. Your A clients, maybe people you did business with in the past who refer you once in a while. Your B clients, has it been a while since you sorted your database yourself? These are people, they might refer you if they were asked, but you don't ask. C's, well, they're kind of new people that you meet. The O's, that's the online stuff. Okay, maybe you have a social network. And then you have the D's. This is where the jackasses begin. And this is where we start pruning our database. We sort and qualify our database, listen, so we know how to prioritize our day. If you're going to be hugely successful, you spend more of your time with the center of your database than anything else. Those A+ people, those are the people I see every month. Those are the people who hear from me every month. Those are the people I want to hang out with. And then I'll get to the A's. And if the rest of my business can get to the B's and C's, great. We have a system for that. A system of contacting, a system of care for the people, and then a system of building community. Now, this is a whole involved system that's very deep and very processed, all of these things, and I'm not going to get into that here in this short introduction video, but this is our system. And when people learn this, use it, and master it, they're the most successful agents in North America. Now, providing value and building relationships. The key to this business is that you have to build relationships by providing value if you're in business. My great friend, Brian Tracy, lives down the street from me. He says the value of a relationship is in direct proportion to the time that you invest in that relationship. When you're just being reactive to the marketplace, you don't spend your time with your very best people. You're just reactive to market conditions, reactive to transactions, reactive to problems when deals are falling apart. Proactive means that every day I set aside time to go see my very best people, which, by the way, turns out to be, when you do it consistently, the most fun there is in the business. So we got to invest the time in your relationships. If you don't invest the time, don't expect a big return. Would you guys agree that if you don't have investments in the stock market, you'd be kind of foolish to be frustrated about the stocks you don't have? Well, that's the same with relationships. You have to invest the time, invest the interest, lock in, know what's going on in people's lives, know what's going on in your customers' lives. If you want to make your business big, you make your focus small. Focus on your very, very best people. And then these folks sell and serve skillfully. Well, I'm going to speak to that. And if it's okay from you, I'm going to tell you a little bit of my story. Because what I love about the real estate business, you can start from anywhere. And I was an Irish immigrant, 19 years of age. I had no plans on living in America. I was a soccer player. Football is the real game. We don't wear shoulder pads. I thought that was funny. And before I went home to Ireland, I got in a very serious motorcycle accident. Very serious to the point of compound fractures. I got an infection. They're going to amputate my leg. Oh, look at this poor child. I had just turned 19. And it turns out the American medical system doesn't work the way the European medical system is, and I owed a bunch of money. And so here I am, 19 years old, 7,000 miles away from home, and I'm in $250,000 in debt. I had no real discernible skills. I only had a 2-year degree. Didn't know anybody, didn't know anything. So guess what business I jumped into? Real estate.
Real estate.
Because they'll take just about anybody. Is that true? They took me, they took you. And so I started from that place. I started from a place that I didn't even own a car. I went on an open house with my leg in a cast by one of the top producers. It was a house that she didn't even want to drive by. It was in a rough neighborhood. And sure enough, I'm doing an open house. A little lady walks in. She asked me about the house. I knew some of the answers, didn't know the others. She says, follow up with me. That day, I go back home. I talk to the agent. I ask all the questions about that listing. I call her back. And this lady says, you called me back. She says, they never call back. I said, well, I'm calling you back. She goes, come by my house. I have another house I want to buy. Bring the paperwork, and I'll buy another house. Okay. Small problem. Didn't have a car. So I had to borrow a friend of mine's car. In fact, he wouldn't give me his car because I had my leg in a cast. So he gave me his son's car. Do you guys remember the band, The Grateful Dead? So his son had what was called a Deadhead mobile. So this is it right here. This was the picture they used when they sold the car. This is its best side. The driver door was all dinged up. You had the driver's side door and the passenger door were held together by a bungee cord. And true enough, that's how I went on my first appointment. You know that lady? She really filled out the paperwork for me. But I served her, I gave her everything I had. I said, I don't know the answer to everything, but I'll find you the answer of everything. Over the course of the next 4 years, she bought 10 houses from me for each one of her grandchildren. She'd been to many, many open houses. No agents ever called her back. So I served her. And then over time, I learned how to serve her skillfully, to the point that when I opened up my own brokerage, I had done thousands of real estate transactions. And, you know, it's gone. Like this guy right here, my little guy right here. Want to show that, Casey? That guy right there is married today with 3 kids, serving our country in the military. I've been at this a long time. You see, I learned how to serve skillfully. And then eventually teach and train people. And now here I am doing this stuff. And I've done this for 30 years. 2,500 events, 4 million people. And I've preserved my good looks. Isn't that amazing? Here's the good news. I know where I started from, and it's still my passion today to serve people. There's a better way to do this business. There's a million people out there selling, people who just start out in this business, all kinds of techniques and tricks and TikToks and become a social media star and all those kinds of things. It always ends up in failure. What I want to do is help people start right. This is a business that can change your life. It transformed my life. It transformed the life of my family. It allowed me to retire my dad and my mom, and for 30 years, live, as they said, the life of Riley. It changed the life of my brothers, my family, my kids. I owe everything I have to the real estate business, and my passion is to bring the best to you.
Okay, so that was the presentation. Who's got some thoughts about anything that Brian said there? Any aha moments?
No, I guess I've all heard it before. I've heard it all before, I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he said something and I didn't take it down. I didn't write it down, but it was something to the effect of something about driving down and focusing small. or focusing on a narrow path, but focusing. No, wait a minute. He said focus wide, but no, focus. Yeah,
Focus small
focus
and
small,
make it big.
make it big. Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that. And I think that's really a powerful statement there too. Mike, Tim Murphy, what are your thoughts on this presentation?
I think it's good. I think it's a good introduction to what he does. I'm curious of the three, reasons that agents fail, which ones sort of resonated most with the people that are on this call.
Yeah. Does anybody have any thoughts on that? Which one of those topics was most likely to fit your bucket there?
He didn't really talk about this, but what it made me think about is when you get down to basics again, it always works. I mean, do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's very key. That definitely is.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any thoughts or else on this? We've got another session like this next week, and then another one following that. So I want to invite you all on that. Then what we will have on the 15th of September is the representative of the coach. We have a coach that's assigned to us from Buffini. Her name is Julie Fezag, and she will be doing a presentation on the 15th to give us an overview of what the Buffini project is going to look like and what kinds of tools are going to be available to you. And then starting on the 21st or the 24th, I can't remember which one, I think it's the 21st, we will have 100 Days to Greatness. And so over the last week, you should have received an invitation that was emailed to you from broker at remaxdistinctive.com, and it was a Buffini invitation, but it was emailed to you from broker at. And so if you are interested in participating in 100 Days to Greatness, that's where we're going to start this whole journey. And so I welcome you to go ahead and enroll in that now. For those of you who had talked about the possibility of joining this process a little bit earlier, there was a mention of a $79.95 fee that you would have to pay. That is no longer part of the picture. The only cost that Buffini charges now is going to be the cost of the enrollment in 100 Days to Greatness. And so, and then after that series that's going to carry us through till about Christmas time. And then we'll be doing it every 2 weeks. And Tim Murphy will be leading that at all of our events. And we'll be moving on from there. And then after that, probably in January or February sometime, we'll launch the next training cycle into this. And so we want to welcome you to join that session as well, which goes a little bit deeper into this whole concept of 100 Days to Greatness. Does anybody have any questions for us at this point?
Hey, Dad, just a question for me. Does that link you sent them give them access to the Buffini's members site?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
it does. It gives you access to all of their materials that are available to our agents.
Yes. Okay, so I'd encourage everybody to do that, to at least get on the site and see what's there, including these videos are there. And, there's some very good agents on here, and, I know you guys are already successful. You're not failing agents, but, being back to basics is about just doing the work. And that's probably the hardest thing for us independent people that mostly work from home, of just having the accountability that am I doing these things that I know are important and I know that will make me succeed. And so we want to do it. I'd encourage you, as we're going through these first 3 weeks, if you don't have your CRM or your SOI set up so that it's segmented into these A+, A, B, and C clients, that's something you could start working on.
Yeah, and to Tim's point there, in Max Tech, you have the ability to do that and create that as a hashtag for each of those clients, and you can do that, and so you can set them up A+ and create a hashtag for that. This client is an A+, or is an A, or is a B, or is a C, et cetera, and that will help you to start garnering that up. We can also send you the links to the technology to get you up to speed on the Max Tech technology if you haven't done that. And so this is where that'll all kind of be piecing together. We'll be focusing mostly on the database. And the key to the whole project that we're launching with Buffini here is we can't just watch these videos. We can't just come into these sessions just simply watching the videos and hoping that through osmosis this gets absorbed into us and make us better. But we're not going to accomplish anything if all we do is come here and watch videos. We're going to get results when we collaborate together and when we hold each other accountable in the group. And that's where Tim is going to lead us into that. You have any follow-up thoughts, Tim?
Nope.
Good deal. Other questions from anybody? Thank you, everybody, for joining us. See you next week.
See you next
Thank you.
week.
Take care.
Thanks. Bye.